Hard surface modeling and creating blobby characters just got so much easier in Blender thanks to this new geometry node. It's called the Set Mesh node, and it gives us control over the normals. And with this node, we can easily blend objects together without altering the topology at all. And in this video, we're going to look at how to make one simple clean node tool that you can add to any object easily. But if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm also going to recommend you a great tutorial to use on more advanced features, like how to use this to create realistic hair and fur in Eevee. But with that being said, let's dive in and get started. Now, we could already alter the normals in Blender and have been able to for a while with this data transfer node. As you can see here in this excellent tutorial from Blender Secrets Daily, one of my favorite channels, you can use the data transfer node to transfer normals from one object to another and create that smooth transition. But as you see, it's a lot of steps and it's a lot of modifiers, and this can actually lead to viewport performance issues. Now, if you don't know, normals are the direction that we have facing on our objects here. So we can see that all these normals are facing outward. And this helps when calculating things like textures, lighting, and shading. And that brings us to why this node is so exciting when set to free. And if you look in the documentation here, they explain exactly everything it does, but they also call it free because it makes normal calculations very inexpensive. So this is a very efficient way to alter the data of your normals in the viewport. And when combined with a simple node setup, which I will show you how to make, you can see here that we can adjust the distance of our normals and combine objects there. So if I go ahead here, you can see how the normals are overtaking the entire object or kind of tightening up there around the edge. And this makes it amazing for things like hard surface modeling here, where we want to combine elements like this and make them blend in. It also works great here on characters that you want to give a blobby look. So as you can see here, here's the arm without the set mesh normals on, and here it is with. And if I turn this on and off, you can see how it's blending in and looking like it's all one object at no extra performance cost. Talking about how you can practically apply this tool, let's take a look at one of my previous tutorials where I showed you how to create this blobby stylized little character using the remesh node. And the great thing about this character is that if I switch over to wireframe mode, you can see it's just a couple simple shapes attached together with an armature rig, making it a perfect type of character for beginners. Then by tossing off the remesh node, we kind of get this little clay-like character. The problem is that when I hit play here, you can see how I am lagging in the viewport and struggling with performance. However, if I turn this off and I turn on the free normal version, which I've applied here to a couple of the appendages, not the head yet, but the tail, for example, you can see that I'm getting a very similar effect, and yet when I hit play, I get full frame rate. So this free normals is an incredibly fast way to create stylized characters. So if you're into motion design or want to do more beginner simple characters like Animal Crossing style characters, then this tool is going to be really helpful for you. Now for this tutorial example, we're going to be using this robot model here, which is free on cgtrader.com, and you can download that. I will put that link in the description below. And then what you need to do is just pick a shape you want to attach to this robot. I've gone ahead and created this little cylinder. We're going to smooth this in, so rather than having this harsh edge, we will get a nice gradual slope as if it was welded onto his shoulder. And let's just call this free normal, and I'll click new here, and I'm going to type free normal here just so everything's labeled. And let's begin our node setup. So first, what we need to do is get the normal data of both objects. Then we're going to mix them together, and then we're going to create a control so that we can control how far they mix from one object to the next. Now, getting the normal data from this object is very simple because we already have the normals applied to it. So if I hit Shift A here and search for normal, I can just go ahead and grab the normals, and this will be the data for that object. What's a little trickier is getting the normal data for this object over here. So I'm going to grab this object here and press period in my outliner. That'll bring me to the robot torso. Now, if I grab back over here on my main cylinder object, I will grab the robot torso here, and it will drag and drop this into here. So now we can use this object info node to pull the normal data we need. So first, I'm going to change this from original to relative. We're going to drag the geometry off here. We're going to search for a sample nearest surface. And we're looking for this one down here, sample nearest surface mesh. At the top here, we're going to change this to a vector value because we're trying to get the normal vector data. And then what we're going to do is grab this normal node here. And if we plug that into the value, we can now output our normal information. So next, what we're going to do is hit Shift A here, search for a mix vector node, and that will give us this mix node where we can put in two vectors together. So we're going to mix the vector of the objects, this one and this one, and then that way we can make them blend into one another. So we have the normal data here. So we're going to grab that, we'll plug that into our A, And then this is already the normal data of our cylinder, so we just need to drag that over into B. Now I'm going to move this over here a bit. And if you have Node Wrangler installed and you hold Shift right click, you can drag and just put these little nodes here. That'll just allow us to keep things a tad more organized. Now I'm going to add a set mesh normal node. We're going to put that on this line from geometry input to output. Then we're going to switch this from sharpness to free and the mode from point to face and corner. Now we have this normal data that we can plug in here as our custom normal. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that in there. And already you can see the big difference that it's making. Let's go ahead and mute this node. And you can see it's starting to blend things in, but the shading and stuff is a little broken. And that's because they're trying to mix all of the normals in the object. We only wanted to mix the normals where they're interacting, like right around here. But that's a pretty easy fix. So what we're going to do is determine how far this object is from this object, and then use that to only affect where they are close to one another. So if I drag the geometry off over here and I search for a geometry proximity, we can then use this to determine the distance between the two. So I'm going to make sure geometry is plugged into geometry hub, and this is set to faces. And then we are going to take the distance here, and this will be the distance between our two objects. And we're going to put this into a map range node. So I'll go ahead there. We'll plug that into the top value there. And we'll take our result here and plug this into the factor of our mix. Now you see things changed a bit, but it still doesn't look great. So the number that we need to alter is this from max right here. So if I go ahead and lower this down, you can see how it is kind of shrinking the normals and only affecting there on the edge. And then when I zoom out, you can see how things are starting to blend together. Now, one more trick you can do to make this blend even more is add a shrink wrap modifier. So if I grab this object and switch over to weight paint mode, you can see here that I have weight painted the edges here and named that in a vertex group called shrink wrap. Then I can add a shrink wrap modifier and shrink wrap that to my surface. And if you ever just find that an object's not completely sitting right, this can sometimes help. But if I switch over to solid view mode here, you can just see how blended the normals are together. And this is actually sometimes a little bit easier to work in to kind of get the exact setting that you want. But next, let's take a look at how we can bundle all this up into an easy to use node tool, which means that we'll just be able to access it here and apply it to any object in the future. So first things first, what we're going to do is begin dragging out the parameters we want to expose. So I'm going to grab this object info here and I'm going to just click this out so it's empty. Then I'm going to drag this up here and this will be our selected object. The other thing I want to control is the distance here. So I'm going to grab this and drag it there. Now, if I press N to open the N panel over here, I can come over to the group and I can name these sockets. So I'm just going to leave object as object. And here I'm just going to call this distance. Now you can see that we have these parameters exposed over here. After that, you can come up to your outliner over here, go to Blender File, and you need to find your node under the node group. So this is free normal, and you just want to mark this as an asset. After that, you want to save this in a folder. So I'm going to save this in an assets geometry nodes folder that I've created. And then under your file paths, you need to go to preferences here, file paths, and make sure that you add that folder here as well. Now this will do two things. One, it will appear in your asset library. So you will be able to come up here to your asset browser and you will be able to drag and drop this onto objects to use. Now I'm going to go ahead and assign this to a category here. So I've created a category called utility. And I'm going to drag this into utility and assign that there and save it. Now this is where it becomes really convenient. With the node tool setup, now I can grab an object and I can come up here to the add modifier panel and I can just go to utility, free normal. And then I can apply that to any object. Now if I go ahead and grab my object robot torso here, I now have it automatically applied and I can begin adjusting. And with this setup, I can quickly apply it to any object in any of my scenes. Now I also want to recommend Cartesian Caramel's tutorials. He has a bunch of amazing tutorials and live streams. And if you want to get more advanced into how you can alter the mesh normals utilizing the Blender geometry nodes, I want you to check out some of his videos. In particular, he has a live stream called the New Set Mesh Normal Node. And in that, he breaks down how to do this realistic type fur in Eevee. And as you can see, he's flying around on his viewport here at almost no performance cost. It's a really interesting video, and I apologize if I pronounced his name wrong, but definitely go check out this video. I'll link it in the description below.